one way we like to incorporate inquiry into the classroom is through QFT, or Question Formulation Technique. And it really gives students the power of their own learning. I may choose the topic, and it's something that they have little or no information about yet, but they get to create questions. They do it in a group setting, but individually. And it's really quite exciting because one person is writing while the other kids are thinking about their questions, but they're not placing any kind of judgment on the questions they're making. And I think they really feel good because they're taking control. I'm not giving them questions. They get to ask, they can ask silly questions or more credible questions, but it's really varied. It's 20 questions per group, and this was for second graders. They love doing this. At the end of that, about a half an hour, then they choose what questions are most important. They decide what type of questions can be researched, and also whether they're closed or open questions. They can be answered with a simple yes or no, or more research is required. Then we get together as a class and we look at the questions. Some of the questions have similarities, which they notice right away, and some of them are varied across the board. But once they decide on about 10 questions as a class, then the research begins, where we use our digital products, our iPads, and they use Britannica or Discovery Ed, World Book. And one thing that I really love with our district apps is that I've certainly researched these apps and thought, oh, this will be great for videos and pictures, or kids of varied reading levels. Some of them read aloud. But this year, or last year for second grade, I had my students vet these apps for different purposes. So we had a chart that lists the pros and cons of each app, and they decided in groups, hey, this one has great videos, or there's several sources of articles and from journals, and also different captions with pictures. So they did a really great job deciding for themselves, for fiction and nonfiction, what sources would be best for research. They decided to rate them just like a book or a movie, 1 stars through 5 with the pros and cons. And now whenever we do QFT, well, they love it, but also any kind of research, they think to themselves, I think World Book is going to be good for this because. So it's really terrific to see them take their learning in their own hands and decide also, you know what? This was a good one for fiction, but I don't think it's going to fit this purpose for learning about this person in this biography. So they really are getting it and deciding that they can own their own learning, and certainly these digital apps have been an integral part of that.